you know what the difference is between fiction and non-fiction? Yes, I bet you do. Fiction means that it's a story which is made up and didn't really happen. People will say fiction is not true. And then non-fiction is the opposite. It means that what you're reading or listening to is something that really did happen. It's not just a made-up story. It is true. Well, the thing is, I like to tell children that stories can actually be true, even if they're made up, in a kind of a way, because although the characters and the events are all made up, the story can be true about what it means to be human. It shares some truth about the human heart. And often, that's what I like to call the story souvenir. Hello everyone, I'm Kathleen Pelly. Welcome to Journey with Story. Today's tale explains all this very well. Don't forget, I love to hear from all my listeners from all over the world. With your mummy, daddy or grown-up friends' help, you can send me a picture that you've drawn, request a birthday shout-out or a special story. Please send your messages on Instagram at Journey with Story. And mums and dads, if you're enjoying our ad-free podcast, please do take a moment to rate, review and share with others. Thanks ever so much. Let's take a journey with truth and story. At the beginning of time, Truth walked naked upon the earth. His body was strong and muscular. His skin was smooth and shining. He was beautiful. Whenever he walked into a village, he would call out, "I am Truth. Come, gather around and listen to what I have to teach you." But no one would come, and no one would gather around him. Their parents would take them away, though, covering their eyes. Curious young women first stared and then turned away. Young men were envious, and old women sighed, and old men were remorseful, and all of them turned away. No one would stay and listen to Truth. He travelled from village to village, and it was the same everywhere he went. One day, he came to the place where his sister Story lived. Her home was a large white house with a wide porch that wrapped around it. There were beautiful trees, ferns and flower gardens surrounding the house. On the porch were white wicker rockers and flowered cushions and wicker wings hanging from the porch roof. There were lace curtains in the windows, and the sunlight streaming through made rainbows on the carpets inside. Story was sitting in one of the rockers. She was wearing a flowing silk gown that shimmered with iridescent colours. She had ribbons entwined in her long golden curls, jewels on her fingers, and sparkling silver shoes. She saw her brother coming down the road and could see that he looked very depressed. Story ran out to her brother and asked, "Oh, what is the matter? Why do you look so sad? What may I do to help?" "Oh, Story, I have travelled from village to village to share what I know, but everyone turns away from me. It is the same wherever I go. I don't understand it. I have so many things to tell. Why won't people listen?" "Ah," said Story, "come inside, for I can help you." Story took her brother into her bedroom and opened closets, chests of drawers and trunks filled with colourful clothes and finery. She told Truth to dress himself up. "Oh, I couldn't do that. I would look silly." Story insisted, and so Truth began to dress up. He put on a white silk shirt with billowing sleeves, purple velvet breeches, shiny shoes with a silver buckle and a quilted vest with jewels. He put rings on his fingers and a hat with a long curling feather on it. He was finished. Story added a flower in his lapel, a silk cape and a long flowing scarf. Now he was ready. She told him to return to the villages and see what would happen. A year later, Truth returned to his sister's house. Story saw him coming down the road smiling. "Oh, Truth, you look so happy. Quick, tell me what happened." "Story, it was wonderful. Everywhere I went, people listened to me. They would gather around and sit for hours while I talked. But what I don't understand is that I wasn't telling them anything different from before. Why was it that they listened this time? Oh, Truth, don't you understand? No one wants to hear the naked truth, but they will listen when it is clothed in story. Well, do you see what is true about this story? Yes, it is always much easier to teach someone how to be good or clever or kind or honest if we tell them a story about someone else who has been good or clever or kind or honest. Cheerio then. Join me next time for Journey with Story.